Before we get started, we'd like to thank EMC Bond for sponsoring this episode of Let's Get Surety. EMC Bond prioritizes personalized service in every aspect of their business. When you partner with them, you'll receive stable, responsive, and timely solutions rooted in strong relationships. To learn more about EMC Bond, their products, services, and personalized approach, visit emcinsurance.com/bond. Now, on to our show.
You're listening to Let's Get Surety. Let me hear your bonding talk with Kat Shamapande.
Hey everyone, it's Kat Shamapande. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Let's Get Surety. Got with me today my co-host, Mark McCallum, CEO of NASBP. Hey Mark, thanks for being on.
Hey Kat, thanks for letting me come back. I always enjoy it.
I'm excited. We're talking about career development today in the surety industry.
It's a great topic.
It
there's
is.
so many great opportunities, and I'm really looking forward to visiting with our visitors today.
Me too. It's an area where there's definitely room for growth, especially with the change of generations that's happening in every career right now.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to talk with everybody about this. So today for our guest to discuss this with us, we've got Heidi Rodzen, Assistant Vice President of Surety Operations at Skillings, Shaw & Associates. Hey, Heidi. Thanks
Hi.
for being on.
Thank you for having me.
We also have Matt Curran, EVP or Executive Vice President, Head of Surety at Sompo. Hey, Matt.
Okay.
Thanks for being on.
You're welcome.
And last but definitely not least, we have David Hoover, Senior Vice President, Acrisure South Division. Thanks for being on, David.
Appreciate you having me.
So before we talk all about careers, can you each just tell us a little bit about yourselves and your organization? So Heidi, can we start with you? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and Skillings Shaw & Associates?
Yeah, so we're a small agency in Auburn, Maine. We have 15 employees amongst 3 locations. And my role there, I oversee all of the operations. I've actually been in every single role within our company at one point of time. And we are surety-only agency.
Okay. How about you, Matt? Can you tell us about yourself and about Sompo?
Yes, thank you for having me for sure. Sompo, we are a large global insurance company, and we are number 13, I believe, on the SFAA result list.
Okay.
So we are happy to be a relevant player in the market. I'm even happier to have a team that is a strong team and one that we focus on our people first, our profit second,
That's
and
awesome.
we focus on premium the third. So it's really important to us to keep growing our people. So that's our company. We provide services throughout the surety industry, from the contract piece, commercial, as well as some renewables. And we have a nice transactional book as well. So we have 120 people on our team, and we've grown a lot over the years, and we have tremendous support from Sompo Global, and we are very fortunate to be in the position we are. We have a tremendous amount of support from our producer partners and as well as our reinsurance partners. And I'm happy to be here. It's my 6th year at Sompo. Have been enjoying the ride, if you will, and really have a great time working with our entire team and our leadership team to keep growing towards the future.
That's great. David, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and Acrisure?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I'm a recovering underwriter. That obviously didn't work out for me. So now at this point, I am the Senior Vice President of Acrisure South. So I oversee 12 states, all product lines, insurance, surety, everything, about 1,500 employees. It's been very interesting. I guess we're the 5th largest broker now. And no one really knew our name before, but as we rebrand, we're getting our name out there. The Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium was a big move for us, but no, happy to be here. It's exciting times for the NASBP and for Acrisure.
That's awesome. My brother's a huge Steelers fan. He's excited about that too.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
So can you tell us, I think it'd be good to find out how you guys got started in surety, because I know so many people kind of stumble into surety. How'd you find surety?
So I'll take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I fell into it like everybody else, but I've always been a really plan-driven person.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a plan in mind for myself that got disrupted. I got pregnant really early in life. I didn't finish college because of it. And I went through a few jobs trying to figure out my way, and was, unfortunately found myself with a company that was pretty toxic.
Mm.
So in talking to my husband, he said, you don't have to do this. You're 23 years old. Find something else. He bought a newspaper. Yes, there were newspapers back then. And, looked in the help wanteds, and he circled this ad for an assistant bond clerk. No idea what that meant. But the job was really clerical and obviously skills that I had. So I took a chance, applied for it, interviewed, and before I even got home that day, I, got a phone call that I had been hired. So that's how I kind of fell into the company that I'm at. And I've played, I think I said earlier, I've done every single role within that company. So really for me, when I started out, it was a glorified receptionist, answering phones, filing, doing all the grunt work that nobody else really wants to do. But I knew that was not gonna, be fulfilling to me as a person.
Yeah.
So I had some conversations with, my boss at the time, and said, look, I want to learn and do more. And so anything you can help me with to get there, I'd appreciate it. And so I think him knowing that really opened a lot of doors for me.
Mm.
And, when you're in a small company like I am, there aren't a lot of roles, open at one time. So you really have to know patience. And so, as a different role opened up, I jumped in and I tried to be the best that I could at it, and then just waited for the next one. And over 20 years, I finally got to where I am, really through hard work and taking advantages of opportunities to learn and, just be better, and ready.
That's great. I think a lot of times when we hear career development stories, it seems like you have to leave where you are to advance, but you're showing that that's not always the case. You can sometimes advance where you
Just gotta
are.
be patient.
Yeah. How about you, Matt?
I started in the surety business like many others by mistake. It was a great choice I didn't have to make. It was made for me because I was on campus interview at Susquehanna University. I had 38 or 39 interviews
Oh, wow.
that were all no. And then finally the surety opportunity came because it was the only one I got an opportunity from.
Yeah.
So it was a big mistake. It turned out to be the best non-decision I've made. So very exciting. Started out and was fortunate enough to be involved in a large top 5 surety company to get a great foundation, and then moved on from there, moved up from there, and moved through there, all that kind of good stuff, and continued my path through another surety company and a startup, and then came over to Sompo 6 years ago, where at Sompo we've been able to really transition our book to a stronger contract account and a commercial account focused business, where we're looking at the middle to large market for both sectors of the business, still while providing opportunities in the subdivision and renewable space. So it's been a big growth, where we've hired 30 to 40 underwriters in the last 6 years, and we're really trying to transition our culture and growing our people and allowing everyone the opportunity to have career development and to really just be a part of a bigger team. And it's something where we found that everyone on the team has a voice, and we need to all make sure that the egos stay out of the room and find a way to elevate each other towards the right decision. And it doesn't have to be a particular person's decision. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
David, how about you? How'd you find surety? You said you were a recovering underwriter, so I know this will be a good story.
The fact I made it through intern training was a miracle. I'm still traumatized. I have my intern questions redlined on my desk still to this day. No, it was, like for most people in the industry, it was a completely random event on a train on the way to New York City. My interviews were going like Matt's, not particularly well. So I spoke to someone on a train, and before I knew it, my resume was passed around Cigna, and I got a call from the bond department, which I had no clue what the bond department was. It wasn't in the encyclopedia at the time. There was no Google, so I asked around, and no one really gave me a good answer. So I said, let's go try.
Yeah.
So it was great. But as I said, the intern questions almost killed me. Every Friday, I would sit in the back of the conference room with my trainer who went to University of Pennsylvania and my bond manager, and they would redline my responses and grill me on them. And I'm like, man, this is fun. I need to come back and do this every Friday. So they couldn't get rid of me. But no, I started as a field underwriter in a surety office in Philadelphia. Eventually moved into a home office role, also in Philadelphia with another carrier. And then, like most people in the industry, we stick with teams. So my team went from General Accident to Liberty. I followed that team to Liberty, opened up the Florida office for Liberty. And I had always expected to go back to a corporate role. That was my plan. And then I can still remember this day. We were sitting in a hot tub. My wife and I were sitting in the hot tub in Orlando. And I had an offer to go run an agency in Miami, or I had a chance to go back to Liberty's home office. And we're sitting there sipping a glass of wine under a palm tree in Orlando going, do we want to go back to Philly or do we want to stay here? And all my family's in Philly, and you can be the best person in the world if you just send checks 1,000 miles and say, I wish I could come over and help you. So anyhow, got started randomly like everybody else. It's been an amazing journey.
Well, so, it's interesting, and I love to hear these stories.
Yeah.
It's a shame it sometimes happens by random or happenstance. I think we need to be doing more to get us known, what great opportunities are out there. But I'm curious, what made you stick? So,
Yeah.
you got there, but then what made you kept going in your path? One, I guess it was maybe opportunities presented, but are there other things about your rise that is really unique in this environment? Heidi, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll start. You know, first of all, the industry itself is just, it changes every day. I liked hearing the stories that the contractors had. And, I knew I was the type of person who's going to be bored, with the repetition. So the actual work that we do, seeing the buildings rise, seeing the contractors and be like, hey, I write that guy's bonds. It's exciting and it's different every day, and those stories are different. So that made me really enjoy the industry. But for me personally, I'm in Maine. So, there's not a ton of surety only agencies around. And I got really fortunate to be hired to one of the most well known and respected in New England, and to work for one of the most, knowledgeable individuals in Bob Shaw. So I couldn't have fallen into a better company. Honestly, I'll share a personal story of, why I stayed there. So I said earlier, my plan got all derailed and I had to leave
Yeah.
college. It was never a non-goal for me to finish college. That's something that was always that unchecked bucket list item. And I was young. I had 2 small children. And I was like, how can I make this work? I have no money.
Yeah.
And so I actually talked to Bob and I said, this is something I really want to do. And I had a hard time balancing family and, work and making it all work. And I said, I really want to do this. It's something that I've always desired. I said, I need your help in making it happen. I need the time. And honestly, he not only gave me the time that I needed, but he also, he financially made it possible for me. And when somebody does something like that for
Yeah.
you, he's a great mentor and like a father figure to me. But when somebody does something like that, it makes you loyal. And
Right.
so I've had a lot of opportunities through the years, and I just stayed where I was. I'll never forget what he did for me.
Yeah.
And so here I am.
Yeah, that's lovely.
It is.
Matt, you use the word people, and it sounds like it's very people-driven industry. Probably excites folks to know that.
Absolutely. And it's the people that allow you to stay where you are in this beautiful industry of ours. Quite frankly, where else can you be an average underwriter and yet still afford the possibilities of going to visit great places? You could go to a baseball game, a show, Las Vegas, you could be in Nashville, you could be in so many different places
Yeah.
with relationship building opportunities. It's really amazing. There's not many other businesses like this, and it provides the ability to have variety in your daily activities, and it also provides many different career path choices that we all have, and we can all undertake it at any different time. So staying in the industry is not a difficult thing, because once you understand and realize all the benefits of the industry, it's an easy decision to be here. Hardly ever do you see someone who has been in the industry for at least 3 to 5 years then leave. It's because of the people, the relationships, and the opportunities. And quite frankly, it's an industry that affords all of us a great way to give back to others and to give back to our own communities internally, professionally, and socially.
Wow, that is nice.
Yeah.
And you talk about the team environment and relationships. Dave, I bet part of that whole equation is the relationships with clients. Could you touch a little bit about that and how that's fueled your career?
Yeah, so the relationship with clients, that's actually probably the most fun part of our job. Um, Leading 1,500 people can be a challenge.
I bet.
Yeah.
But with the client, you're solving problems, you're helping them grow. You get listen, everyone wants a yes, but just helping them run their business, being very focused on their success. As I said earlier, it's really a relationship business. It's one of the last relationship business. We joke about it, but it truly is a relationship business. I've got clients that I've had 30 years that were with me on the carrier side that are now with me on the brokerage side. And I've watched their kids grow up, second generations take over the company. You don't see that a lot of places. It's a pretty amazing place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Well, we talked about how all three of you kind of stumbled into Surety. Now you're on the other side where you're bringing new people in by hiring. Are you seeing people still stumbling into Surety, or are people looking for Surety now more often? Has that
Great.
changed?
No, great question. I think it's up to all of us to be advocates for our business. And luckily, in the position that I'm in, I'm able to actively do that. I recruit students at Susquehanna. We've been fortunate enough to hire many, not only for Susquehanna, but I recruit students from our family friends. I recruit potential industry participants for family friends. And I'm always talking up Surety wherever
Yeah.
I am. And it's important, also the stage of life. Our kids are that college age area anyway. So there's a wider net that I can personally cast. And it's about awareness. The more people know about our business, the more they want to come in. Quite frankly, when you tell someone, "Oh, hey, I was just out at a Yankee game," they're like, "Ooh, I might want to be in that industry." So it's pretty fun. So you have to be purposeful, Kat.
Yeah.
I think we all of us in this industry, if there's, whatever, 100 surety companies and there's, 2,000 agencies out there, we have a great network of foot soldiers ready to go promote our business.
Actually, if I could just add something.
Yeah.
The one thing I find that we don't do a good enough job about is explaining the entrepreneurial aspect of this business. I mean, we punch outside our weight class. This has been an industry from the time I got in it. You had the opportunity to be very entrepreneurial, and it's like I feel like I'm a serial entrepreneur, but structured. Like
Right.
I wasn't out trying to invent a new iPod, but like within the surety industry, you have opportunities to be entrepreneurial, to do things differently. I was using CRMs and networking my office back in the 90s with CRMs, and people are like, "What's CRM?" I'm like, "Well, it helps you be more efficient." And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of cool opportunities that people don't understand. It's not just the product, but it's the structure and the culture of like an entrepreneurial business, working with clients that are entrepreneurial. We got to sell the fun too.
Yeah.
So is it only intrinsically rewarding, or are there like more concrete rewards that you find
outside of compensation?
Well, that too. Is it a good thing,
Can you make a good living in Surety?
Oh, well, the making a good living in Surety is just table stakes. I mean, the things that we are allowed to do because of this industry go well beyond that. We all know that. It's fulfillment. It's an opportunity to help others. I love Dave's comment about entrepreneurship. It does provide everybody at whatever level or whichever part of the business you're in to have creativity in the role you're in and to own it and to grow it the way you see fit. So I think it goes way beyond compensation. It's more about the ability to again allow you to even be a better person and find ways to mention that success is not because of the car you drive, the title you have, or the money you make. Success is, how are you able to be in your professional life? Are you giving back in your professional life? Are you participating in NASBP podcasts? Are you an SFAA member? Are you in different committees? And what are you doing? And what happens when you're in your own personal life and you're able to give back and your company gives you time to take time away from your daily activities at work in order to go ahead and be out in your own community giving back? So success has a lot of different definitions.
Yeah.
And it starts with being in the surety industry.
That's terrific. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, there's actually one funny thing I was looking at recently. We all know the 3 C's of suretyship, right?
Right.
If you look at the 3 C's of leadership, the one thing they have in common is character. I mean, that's such an important aspect of this business. I mean, everything we do is through other people at this point. You know, as we've grown from individual contributor to leaders, we work through others. And I will tell you to this day, people will work for me and say, listen, when you say something, Dave, you mean it, you deliver it. It's something that I think we forget. Like our word matters, you know, our character matters. So I don't think you can have growth and leadership and create opportunities for people without having good character and looking out for others.
And when you say leadership, that's really at any point in their career, somebody could exercise and have the opportunities to lead. Do you find that's true, Heidi?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're only as strong as your team, and I think the culture now is that people want to be invested in their own future. They want to be empowered and do, you know, kind of create the role on their own. So I think, you know, leadership starts at the very beginning. You know, but I think that there's a lot of room all the way up through to become, you know, and take advantage of leadership opportunities. NASBP for me has been great. I'm in the 515 leadership committee, and you know, that is a group of individuals that are in a similar point in their career from 5 to 15 years in producership. And, you know, that's really to promote and become a better leader. And it really gets you involved in things like this. The more you give, I think, you know, the other gentlemen have said it, the more you give, the more you get back. And
Yeah.
so, you know, giving back to the association and being a part of that, that group has really been pivotal for me. You know, it's gotten me involved with NASBP's leadership, joining committees, learning more about the association, taking on chair, vice chair, directorship roles. You know, and in all of those different things that I've done, I've just become a better, more stronger leader. And it's been a good learning opportunity for me. So you know, I think anybody in their career, you know, can be pushed to, or not necessarily pushed, but you know, put into this association and, you know, have them give back.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I would even add to that, Heidi, in that it's up to us now that we're in different stages of our career to also give back to those in the early career professionals or ones that are in different levels. That doesn't matter, but we have the responsibility, I really feel, to be a mentor, to be available and be present and provide learning opportunities for everybody, and to, you know, pay it forward. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a couple of really strong mentors in my career, and they allowed me the opportunity to grow and to fail epically in some instances, and yet still give me another opportunity. So it's good for all of us to continue to do that. You're right, Heidi. So good for you.
If I could just add to that, it's too often we think about leadership as a title or a position. It's earned, but it's the most simple, basic that I share with people is like, help solve other people's problems.
Yeah.
If you're willing to lend a hand and help others, you're acting as a leader.
Right.
You know, you can understand what your job description is, but think about it from a team perspective. It's like, what's the ultimate objective? You know, years ago, I had someone that said, well, I can't send out this FedEx because it's so-and-so's job to send out the FedEx. I said, no, to get the bond to the customer, that's our job.
Yeah.
Okay. So just lend a hand and take. So you create leadership by your actions, not by getting
Right.
some title at some point. I mean, we saw that in the military. You know, there were people that outranked you, but they weren't leaders. You know, leadership's earned. You know, titles are given.
I know at Surety School, I have the opportunity to talk to a lot of individuals that are really just starting out in their surety careers. They get sent there by leaders like you guys who send them to Surety School, which is amazing. But I know a lot of them listen to this podcast. What's your advice to those that are just starting out? How can they advance their careers and continue to grow if they're questioning how to like take the next step? What would you say to them, Matt?
I would say first and foremost, thank you to all the companies that do provide the opportunities for their early in careers to go attend the Surety School. That's part of our training program that we use. We also have a training program that encompasses more structure outside of that as well. Our company has 60 trainees this year, and in Surety we have 4. And it's an opportunity to, I'd say, go beyond Surety. So for the early in career person, it's get an opportunity to see what's going on within the overall company. You know, we have 13 different business units that they can get involved with. And at that stage of the early in career, it's an opportunity for learning how to network. where's the best place to start to network with your peers? So when you start out in a room of 60 people that you're going to go through formal week of training together, then they go back to their individual business units and then they grow there 6 months later together again. And it's that, don't let it go from your first opportunity meeting somebody doing nothing for the next 6 months until you see that person again. It's really learning how, I would suggest to those early careers, is learn how to develop a relationship and keep it going and find ways to make it happen, where it could just be like a random email you send to someone just to keep the contact going. But it's very important to not let that initial relationship die because of your inaction.
Stay connected. David, what would you say?
No, there's a lot of opportunities. It's been harder on the brokerage side because we come together from a lot of smaller agencies trying to build scale, but we use the Surety bond schools. We use some other internal training. But for us, it's just trying to build a structure where we can bring people in, and where we fail, we just steal from Matt.
Heidi,
You're
what would you
welcome.
say?
I would say, coming out of bond school, I went to bond school a very, very long time ago,
Yeah.
but there's no one more invigorated and ready to jump into surety than somebody who leaves bond school. And so when they come back, they want to write everything, they want to do everything. And I would say that to those people, no one is a bigger advocate for you than you. And you need to, jump at opportunities. If this is a career that you really want to go far in, you really need to take advantage of the opportunities and the doors that open for you. Get involved, just keep learning, and tell somebody. If there's somebody that you have as a mentor or who's, higher up in your company, tell them that you want to learn and you want to do more. I mean, I wouldn't have.
You don't want that to be a secret.
No, because
Yeah.
I definitely would probably be, still answering the phones if I hadn't had that conversation way early on that said, this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life, and just make it known that you want to do it.
Such great advice. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys about your careers and then how others can advance their careers in surety and experience this great industry. Thanks so
Yeah,
much for
thank
being on
you.
with us. Hopefully
Yep.
we get you back again sometime.
Welcome. This was a lot
Appreciate
of fun. Thank you both. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Pat.
You've been listening to Let's Get Surety, brought to you by the National Association of Surety Bond Producers. For more information about the NASBP and its members, visit nasbp.org.
Before we go, we just wanted to thank EMC Bond again for their generous support in sponsoring this episode of Let's Get Surety. EMC Bond prioritizes personalized service in every aspect of their business. When you partner with them, you'll receive stable, responsive, and timely solutions rooted in strong relationships. To learn more about EMC Bond, their products, services, and personalized approach, visit emcinsurance.com/bond.